Monkted here, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a sword shop so you can unequip your sword and equip it, and you can also buy it. But before we get the video started, only 6% or 0.6 of you guys are subscribed, so I'm going to be setting a goal for the end of this month. So if we have 170 subscribers by the end of this month, I'm going to be giving away 75 Robux, and if we get to 175, then I'm going to be giving away 100 Robux, and if we get to 180, then I'm going to be giving away 200 Robux. So let's get the video started. So the first thing we're going to want to do is make a shop. So if we just insert a part, I'm literally just going to be making a square for my shop. You guys are probably definitely going to want to take more time on this, but for now I'm just going to be making this little square thing. And then we can also just insert a cylinder, and we can scale it down. First we have to rotate it though. So if we just scale it down like this, and then this is going to be the part that our player steps on to access the shop. So just scale it down a little bit more. That's good. And then we can just make this part to anchored and the can collide to false, and I'm just going to be making this blue as long with this one over here. I'll just name this to shop, and then I'll name this to shop part like this, and then I'll also make this one blue because usually shops are blue. And then you can make this neon, and as well with the transparency just a little bit more down. So where's the transparency? Right there. It's like 0.7 maybe, and then we can make it neon like this, and that looks pretty good. And then if we insert a script inside of this, we can do script.parent.touched :connect function, and then hit. And we can do let's just name this the player. We can do if player find first child. We can do humanoid. Then we can just do print. No, let's not do that because I'm pretty confident this will work. So if player find first child humanoid, and then we're gonna want to make this GUI over here and start a GUI, and this is gonna be our shop. So we can just change this to shop like this, or we can name it to shop. And then let's insert a frame, and this is gonna be our background. If we just scale it like this, and in the middle, I'm just gonna scale it a little bit wider because we're gonna have, I'm actually gonna make a separate window for that. Alright, let's just make the anchor point to 0.5, 0.5. And then we'll set the position to 0.5, 0, 0.5, 0. And then we can set the size. And let's just keep the size how it is, and we can go to plugins. If you guys have this plugin, it's called Auto Scale Light. Unit conversion will scale it. So now if we go to mobile, it's the same size. And then this frame is gonna be where all of the the items are. So we could just scale this down a little bit more because we don't need it to be so wide. And then we can just change this to, or we'll insert a scrolling frame. Sorry about my voice, by the way. So we'll insert a scrolling frame, and this is where the players will scroll to get the items. And then if we just make the background transparency 1, like that, and we can also change the border size pixel to 0. And then I'm going to be making the scrolling bar image to white like this. And then I'm also going to change the background transparency or the background color 3. I think that's what it's called. I'm going to change it to blue. And then also we can insert inside of the frame, we can do a UI corner like this. And then since it's set to offset right now, we're going to change the offset to 0 and the scale to 0.1 or 0.01. Just something that fits. So 0.03, I think. Yeah, that looks good. So what this does, if we just change to 0 again, if we go offset to 1, or let's do 10, see how it has like just a little bit of curve right here? But if we go into mobile, it has way more curve. But that's what the offset, it's kind of like the size, where if you have the size to offset, it makes it scale way bigger, or it makes it way bigger on mobile than it is on computer. So if we change this to 0.03, I think we had it to, and go into mobile, it's the same corner. So I think I forgot to scale this too. So if we go to plugins and then scale that, I think that should be better now. Yeah. And then we're just gonna wanna, the scrolling frame didn't seem the same. Let's see. Is there like a scrolling frame size? It doesn't look like it. Maybe it's thickness. I think I remember something like that. Like scrolling frame thickness. Oh no. Hold on, I'm gonna fix this really quick and then I'll be back. Alright, so now that I've gotten that fixed, we're gonna insert a text button. Before we do that, we can actually do a UI grid layout. So the grid layout is gonna basically make it so we don't always have to position it. It's gonna automatically position it in a grid. And we'll just set the cell size to 0, 0, 0, because we don't want the offset, we want the scale. So if we do 0.1 and 0.1, that's a bit too small. Try 0.2 on this one. Okay, we'll do 0.25 and then 1. Okay, that seems good. Actually, let's just do a little bit bigger. So let's do 4 and then let's do 3 and then 3 and 2. That's way too big. Okay, that's good. So let's just insert a corner, a UI corner to this, so it looks a little bit nicer. We can change it to 0.2, 0. That looks about right. And then we can also just insert a image label right there. And then let's put that about there, and we can also insert a UI corner to that. And then we'll make it 0.2 again. Yeah, that looks about right. And if we just size it, or if we just put it in the middle. Okay, so it already is. So now we're gonna insert the text so we know what the sort is. So we'll insert a text label. And then if we just put this down here, scale it like that, and we'll just change the background transparency to 1. And we'll change the text to white. Text to scaled, and we'll name it to sword. Alright, so I think that looks pretty good. And then if I just change this background transparency to something like a dark blue, a little bit darker than the one we already have, something like that should be good. And then I'll just change that to like a lighter blue, like that. And then we'll just delete the image like this. And then you guys can put your own image in there. And I am going to quickly just name this to, actually, I think if we go to mobile, alright, yeah, that looks horrible. So if we go into plugins and scale it, and scale this stuff, now it should be good. Alright, so it's scaled on mobile. And then the UI grid layout is all good. So if we just duplicate a bunch of these, this is what it's going to look like. All of these swords. So if we just go into the scrolling frame, let's insert a logo script inside of this frame. We'll name it to Gui Handler. And then we'll name this to sample, like that. And then inside of this script right here, do you remember this over here? So the script from this, inside of that, we'll just do, let's just change this to hit. And then we'll change this to hit as well. And then we can do local character equals hit dot parent. And then we can do so we'll do we'll do local player equals game dot players, colon get players, or get player from character, and then we'll do character like that. And then we can do player dot player GUI dot shop dot frame dot visible equals true. And then we'll just add a debounce as well. So local debounce equals true or false. And then we'll do if debounce equals false then. And we'll just copy and paste this in there. And then we can do debounce equals true. And then we can do wait 2. And then we'll do debounce equals false after this, which is basically the cooldown. So I'll basically sum this up. So when it's touched, we have a hit, and then if debounce equals false, then, which is originally false, so the player steps on this, debounce is equal to false, so it is false. Then if hit, find for child humanoid, so if it is a character, then debounce equals true, so they can't hit it anymore, because debounce doesn't equal true, or false. And then local character equals hit.parent, which is basically any part in their player. If it hits it, then the character is going to equal to hit.parent. And the player, we're just getting the player from the character, and then we're setting the GUI to true. And then we're waiting to, and that's basically how long it's going to wait. So hopefully there aren't any errors. Alright, so right away this thing's visible. So Should probably go make that visible to false so we can actually see if it works. And then let's also just insert inside of the frame. We'll insert a text button like this, and we'll make it the close button. So if we just do anchor point to 0.5, 0.5, and then the position to 0.5, 0, 0.5, 0, which will set it in the middle, but we don't want it there, so we can probably do 1 or 0. No, we want 1. Yeah, so 1 like this, and then 0, which will set it to the very top. And then let's just go to plugins. First, let's make it so that it's 72 by 72. So now it's actually scaled like that, and we'll just unit conversion it and scale. And let's scale it down because this is humongous button for a close button, and we'll name it to close. And then we'll add in a script. We'll script.parent.mouse button 1 click connect function, and then we'll do script.parent.parent visible equals false. And then we can also just put a big X on this, so text is scaled. We'll do X, change it to white, and then we'll do it to source. No, let's do Gotham bold, and then we'll make it to red. Alright, that's a good red. And if we just do 0, GUI corner, and real quick, let's just insert a UI aspect ratio constraint so it stays like that. And then the UI corner will do 0.1, 0, 0.2, let's do. And then that's pretty much it. So if we just make this to visible and false, like that, and if we just play, alright, so if we walk over to the shop, nothing happens, so there aren't any errors either. So let's see. So it should be doing this. I don't know why it's not working. Let me try to decode it real quick. Oh my gosh. I forgot to do hit.parent, so not the hit, but hit.parent, which is the character. Alright, so, okay, it works. If we close it, it works. Open. I don't know why my computer is being so laggy today. Alright, so, open it. Okay, the debounce. Do we have any errors? No. Something's not working. So if hit dot parent colon find first child humanoid, then dbounce equals true. Maybe it has something to do with this over here. Let's try this. Let's print the dbounce. Alright, so if we go over here and we open the shop, dbounce equals false. Alright, that's good. And then if we go over here again, dbounce equals false times 2. Alright, if we go into it again, it's false. We close it off. I'm guessing it has something to do with this. Let me try to see what's not working. So let's just go ahead and in the script, inside of replicated storage, let's go ahead and insert a folder, and we'll name it to remote events. And then we can insert a remote event, and we'll name it to open shop. And we'll do so we have to have the local player. So if we'll do game.replicated storage.remote events dot open shop colon fire client, do player, and then I'm pretty sure that's all we need to do. Yeah, it seems good. And then inside of this, we can do game.replicated storage.remote events .open shop .on server event on client event, sorry, colon connect function, and then we'll do like this. Hopefully this should work. I don't know if it will yet. I'm honestly kind of confused of why that didn't work. It's probably something to do with the client and the server though. So this works, close it, pops up again. Alright, so it works fully now. Jeez, are my graphics like all the way up, or why is my game being so laggy? So we can remove this print now. And now that that works, we're just gonna get onto the Gui Handler. Actually, we don't need that. We don't need that local script. Well, we do, but we don't need the sample to be into it. We're gonna put this in scrolling frame, and we'll make this visible to true, like that. And we'll change the sample to sword 1. And right now I don't have time to actually make the images, so you can do that, or you can do viewport frames. I'm just gonna make 4 swords like this, and in the text label I'll just do sword 1, sword 2, and sword 4. Alright, so once you're done with that, we have 4 swords, right? 4 swords. Is that how you say it? Sword? Yeah, we have 4 swords. Swords. Doesn't sound right. So we have 4 of them, and let's just go ahead and select all of them, and then I'm going to change the auto button color to off. So if I highlight my mouse over them right now, it doesn't do anything, but if I just change that to true again, you see like the auto button color. I don't really like that, so I'm going to change it to off. And then if we just insert a script in each one of these, or not right now, let's go ahead in the toolbox. I'd recommend making your own swords and your own scripts, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to do that. And it's out of replicated storage. We can just insert a folder. We'll name it to swords, like that. Toolbox isn't loading for some reason. Let's see. Models, images, mesh. None of this is loading. Are my models loading? Alright, so this is good. So if we type in sword, like that, and let's do, this will be sword 1, the classic sword. Where'd it go? Until I found where that went, let's just try that again. Alright, there. We'll do this one too. And then also this sword, even though actually it's the same, so I'm not going to put that one in. Let's do this sword as well. And then one more sword. Let's do this one. Alright, and then we're going to have to rename them. So the classic sword, obviously this is going to be sword 1. Devil sword we're going to do sword 3. And this one we're going to do sword 2, sorry. And then this one is sword 4. So if you're going for a simulator type of game, or pretty much any game, you're going to want a starter sword. So sword 1 is going to be the start sword. So we'll just put that in starter pack, so you start out with it. And then next thing we're going to want to do is inside of the frame. We're going to name this one to swords. And we're going to duplicate, no, we're going to name, yeah. Just rename that to scrolling frame. We're going to duplicate this. No, let's just make a whole other frame. Well, we'll duplicate it, but we'll delete everything inside of it. Like this. Except for that UI corner. So now that we've deleted everything, we'll just drag it over here. Scale it down. And this will be our equipped thing. I'm really quick gonna just make this so it's over the top of it. And let's go ahead and just actually drag that over there. Like that's about good. So now that we have that, we're just gonna actually take all of this and drag it into the middle over here. Alright, so we'll name this frame over here to swords. And we'll name this one over here to sword info. Like that. And then inside of the sword info, if we just make a text label, let's do text button first. This will be the buy button. We'll drag it to the way bottom over here. And I'm just going to make this green, but not too bright of a green. Alright, that seems good to me. And then we'll just insert a UI corner to that. And then we'll change it to 0.2, 0, 5, 0. That's way too big. So 0.4. Okay. Even that's a little bit too big. 0.3. There, that's a good size for me. So we'll just change this to buy. Or another thing I like to do is just make the price there. So if we just do 1.4K. Like that, for example. I might not do that for this one. Let's just change it to Gotham Bold. So I'm probably not going to do that for this video, just because I don't really feel, I'm going to do something different this video. But normally I'd make the buy sign, the price. I'm just going to change auto button color off to false. So like when you click on it, this is the price and there's no price up here, but since we have so much room, I'm just going to name this to buy. Like that. And then I'm going to make it to white. Doesn't look right. Let's just change the size to... Let's see, maybe if we scale it down a bit. And that looks a bit better. Alright, so that's going to be our buy button. We'll have a price button as well. And real quick, I'm going to make this UI corner 0.0, 7 so it matches the other one pretty well. Let's do 0.065. That looks a lot better. So the text button, we'll name this to buy button, or just buy. And then let's just insert a text button, we'll name it to price. Let me just save this real quick. I have a feeling it's going to crash. Why won't it let me save? I need to publish. Let's just name it to Sword Shop Tutorial. Did I spell that right? Tutorial. I don't know how to spell tutorial, so whatever. Alright, let's save it. And then let's make the price down here. Background transparency to 1. Text stroke color to white. And text to scaled. We'll name it to 100,000. Or no, 1,000, sorry. Change this to Gotham Bold. And I think that's pretty much it. So if we just go ahead and make the image label like that. Let's scale it. Alright, that looks pretty good. So if we just make a UI corner around this. Let's delete this image real quick. And we can make the background color to, let's do a nice dark blue. That looks good. And then the UI corner, let's do 0.2, 0. Or 0.1, 0. And let's just move the price a little bit up. And the buy button a bit up. So that looks pretty good. Alright, so let's see. Let's go ahead and in the swords, let's do the Gui Handler. Let's put that inside the actual shop. So let's see if we want it to, so when you click on this, it's gonna transfer the image over here. And I don't have an image right now. Maybe we'll go look for one. Let's go into meshes, no, images, sorry. Let's do sword. No, wait for it to load. Alright, the toolbox is just refusing to load, so I'm not gonna have an image. I'll kind of explain how to do it, but I just noticed we did not scale these. So if we just go into plugins, Unity conversion, and then we'll scale all of these. So now it should be better. Yeah, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, so if we just go into the Gui Handler, and so we'll see if each one of these are clicked on. So we'll do for I or underscore comma V. Let's think of a good name for this. Let's do sword Gui. Sword Gui in pairs, and then we'll do script.parent .sword info, no, swords .scrolling frame :get children . Let's just do get descendant, no, get children. Do, and then, yeah, that looks good. So the first thing we're gonna wanna check, since the UI grid layout is a children or child of scrolling frame, we don't want it to do that, so we will do if sword Gui : is a, and then I think I did text button. Yeah, that's text button. Then print sword Gui. So it's gonna print the name. Let's go ahead and play that. And it should print sword 1, sword 2, sword 3, and sword 4 in the output. And that's it. Alright, so it did work. Printed all of these. And if we just stop the game, so instead of the Gui handler, we'll do if sword Gui dot mouse button one click connect function, and then we can do let's do, okay, so why is it erroring? Let me figure out why this is erroring real quick. Alright, so I just accidentally did an if there. Delete that. And then we can do sword Gui dot mouse button one click connect function. Do sword. Alright, so print sword Gui dot name. Yeah, so that seems good. And then let's just try that real quick. See if it works when each time you click on in the individual sword. So if we go to output, click on it, sword 1, sword 2, sword 3, and sword 4. So that seems to work. Click stop. Alright, so the next thing we're going to want to do is, in this local script, we actually need to change, so when we click on the thing, we're going to change this info. We're going to change the image, the price, and the buy. Well, in this video, I'm not going to be changing the image, but you guys can. So, in the sword 1, we're going to insert a folder. And we're going to name it to info. We're going to name it to sword info, actually. No, just info. And in that folder, we're going to insert a price or a number value. And as along with a string value. And we're going to name the string value to, I think this is the string, yeah, this is the string value. We're going to name this to price. We're going to name this number value to amount, no, payment. Let's just name it to pay. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So in the pay, we're going to do the value, which is 0, and the price to also 0. Like this. And inside of replicated storage, yeah, let's insert inside of server script service. Let's go ahead and insert a script. We'll name it to sword handler. No, yeah, sword handler. Shop handler, sorry. Like that. And then we will do, or you can just name it to leader stats. I'll name it to leader stats, just to make it easier. And in part 2, I'll probably make a save data. So in leader stats, we can just do, let me move my mic real quick. So in the leader stats, we're going to do game.players.playerAdded, :connect function. Oops, forgot the N. There we go. So now that we have this, we're going to insert player in the parameters, and then we can do local stats equals game. Okay, let's just really quick think about this. So local stats equals, okay, instance.new. So let's go ahead and so let's do leader stats, right? So we got the leader stats here, and then we can do local cache. You can do this to whatever you want, and then we'll also do local let's make a folder inside of the leader stats. We'll name it to swords owned. Owned swords, actually. Like that. And we'll insert sword 1 into there. So if we just, yeah, so if we insert a value, bool value. Let's see. We could do a number value. Yeah, let's do a number value. So we'll do number value inside of this. We'll call it to swords owned. And we'll change this value to 1. And we can do local cache equals instance dot new. We'll do a we'll, 1 second. Alright, so I'm back now, and we're just going to do local cache equals instance.new, and then we're going to do number value. And then we're going to change this to a folder, and we can just do stats dot parent, no, stats dot name equals, we're going to do leader stats, and then stats dot parent equals the player. So now what we just did is, if you don't know the basic leader stats, I'll basically explain it. I think I have a video on this on my channel. But we're inserting a folder into the player, and we're going to insert this cache value into the folder, and it will display it up here in the corner. So if we do cache dot name equals cache, and then cache dot, no, we're not going to do the value, because in the future, well, we'll do the value for now. Cache dot value equals 1000, let's do, and then cache dot parent equals player stats, sorry. So now we have a cache value, and if we click play, in the corner of our screen you should see stats, or leader stats. So there we go, it's cache 10,000. We have no errors in the output. If we click stop, and then inside the leader stats folder, pretty sure that's good, so we can exit that off. And let's see what we need to do. So we have the leader stats, and we have the sword's own, which is 1, because we're going to always have the starter sword, so we want that to be at 1. And then let's see, sword 1, sword 2, sword 3, sword 4, buy. Alright, so inside the buy, or inside the value, let's see, in starter's GUI, in the GUI handler, let's insert a string value, and then let's name it to current sword. Maybe we should do a value, a number value. Current number value, sorry. So what I'm thinking here is we'll have a current sword we're on, and this is sword 1, this is sword 2, this is sword 3, and sword 4. And you don't even have, you can just name like any sword. We know that these are sword 1, sword 2, and sword 3. So in the GUI handler, if we just do, hold on, let's put this value, let's do current sword. Let's go ahead and put this in the buy button. Right there. Inside of this we can do script. Let's define some variables real quick. So we'll do local buy button equals script dot parent dot sword info dot buy, and then we can do local price equals script dot parent dot price, no, dot sword info dot price, and then local, I'm pretty sure that's it. If you wanted to do image label, which I'm not going to do, you just do basically the same thing, and then you'd find the image label. So sword GUI dot mouse button one click hold connect function current sword let's see, let's insert a value inside of the sword. So right in this scrolling frame, so sword 1, sword 2, do info, and we'll insert a thing called number value. So we'll change this to sword, and then we'll name this to 1. And then I don't think we duplicated this, so if we just go ahead and insert this in a sword 2, and then change the sword to 2, duplicate this one, put it inside of sword 3, open it, and change sword to 3, and then you're just going to do the same thing with sword 4. And so now that we have that done, just close it off. So we're going to do current buy button. I misspelled it. So buy button dot current sword dot value equals sword GUI dot info dot current sword dot value. No. Dot sword dot value. So that should work. If we click play. And then if we just go into the players, and then the shop, and then, yeah, the right here in the sword info, and then the buy, and then current sword, it's at 1 right now. Click on it, sets it to 1. Click on this one, sets it to 2, 3, and 4. Here, I don't know if I can zoom in, but this says 4 right here. Oops. Alright, now it's at 1, 2, 3, and 4. If we click stop. Alright, so now that we're back here, we can use that. And what we want to do is we're going to go into our GUI handler, and we're going to do price dot value equals sword GUI dot price dot text dot value. No, or just price dot text equals sword GUI dot info dot and then we can go into, what did we name it to? We named it to price, so dot price. So now that we have that done, should change the price. And if we click it, changes doesn't not work. Okay, let's see. Shop GUI dot GUI handle invalid argument 3 string expected got instance. Price. Let me see. So I'm gonna go try to fix that real quick. Guys, I figured it out, and it was like the stupidest mistake ever. So sword GUI dot info dot price. We need to do dot value because we're getting the value, not the actual price or whatever. So we click play. Now when we click it, sword 1, it's the price is 0. Sword 2, the price is also 0. I think I forgot to change the prices, so let me just go do that real quick. Alright, so I went and changed sword 2, I changed the pay and the price to 50, and as long with sword 3, I did 100 and 100, and 200 and 200. Make sure you change the price and the pay to the same value, but one's a string and one is going to be a number value. So inside, let's make it so that you actually buy this. So let's insert a, trying to decide if I should do a, what are they called? They're called, let me see, remote function. I'm trying to decide if I should do remote function or remote event. Depending on this, I might do a remote function. But so far I'm going to do remote event. And we're going to change this to buy sword. And inside of the Gui handler, we're going to do buy button dot mouse button one click colon connect function, and then we're going to do if, let's do, okay, so we're going to do, so we have this in server script service. We made it into a folder. Did we? Hold on, open your leader stats folder up again. And we're going to do local swords owned equals script dot swords owned. And then we're going to do sword owned dot parent equals player. And then we can go back into this Gui handler and we'll do if player. I don't think I defined the player yet, so we'll do local player equals game dot players dot local player. Do if player colon wait for child, and then we can do swords owned dot value, and we'll do equals more than, so if it's equal or more than to let me think about this for a second. So we need to find the value in this sword, but I don't know how to find the sword because we only have values. Wonder, I know we could do a function, but that wouldn't be as inefficient. So we could do, let me think about this for a second. I'll come back when I find out. Alright, I think the easiest way that I can think of right now is to do a function. I think there is a different way, but I just can't really think of it right now. So we'll do function get sword, get GUI sword, and then we'll do, we're gonna need the number, sword number. We can do, we'll do for underscore comma v, we'll do sword GUI in pairs. And then we'll do let's define the scrolling frame, so we'll do local scrolling frame equals script dot parent dot sword info, and then if we just delete this, we'll change this to sword info. Like that, and we'll just take this like that. We'll delete this, and we can do sword info, like that. Alright, so let's go ahead and do sword info colon get descendants. Let me see how you spell that real quick. Alright, so just like this. Get descendants. Do. And then we'll do if sword GUI if sword GUI colon is a, and we'll do the same thing we did over there where we check to see if it's a text button. So we can just actually copy this. If sword GUI is a text button, then we'll do if sword GUI dot value. I think we need to go to info, yeah. So if sword GUI dot info dot sword dot value equals sword number, then we'll do sword GUI, we'll do print sword GUI dot name, and then yeah, let's just see that. Less than get GUI sword. Okay, I think that should be good. Did I do this right? Okay, there. So we will return info sword GUI info.sword.value. Alright, so I think that should work. Let's see. Open the output. Info is not a valid member of text button. Did I spell it right? Yes, I did. Let me see what I did wrong again. We just pause. Okay, I know the problem. It was because I did get sword, and then I did sword GUI that, hold on. What did I do wrong? Let me just copy this real quick. Because I think I did, yeah, I did the sword info, not sword. Okay, so this isn't gonna work. Yeah, well, never mind. Script.parent.swords to scrolling frame. I'll just name this to, yeah, so I think that should be good now. Fingers crossed it works. Well, we won't duplicate in our inventory yet. Oh my gosh, this has been going on for an hour. I'm sorry, it's so long. Okay, let's see. So it works. It does the numbers, right? And then if I click buy, attempt to compare nil number. Let me see. Let's print it real quick. And then I think I'm going to do part 2 on. I did not realize this was getting so long. If player colon wait for child swords owned. We'll do print value. Oh, I think I know what's wrong. Yep, I think I know what's wrong now. So, no, that doesn't make sense then. Oh. Yes, I forgot to put... Okay, yeah. I forgot to put the first argument in. So right here, I need the sword number. So I'll do... Okay, so I'll do... buy button dot current sword dot value. Yeah, right here. I'll just copy this. Paste it in there. And I think that should work. So we click on it, click buy. Okay, so it does work. And I think there might be an error. Let me just see real quick. Oh, snap. Okay. I just figured out a bug. Alright, so we're going to need to set these to both visible. So in the close button, open your local script. And we'll do script.parent.parent.visible. And then we'll also do script.parent.parent.swords.visible equals true. We'll do the same thing over here and then change it to false. So I think that should work now. And then also, I think if we... So I think this should be equal to 0. Let's see. So, alright, I think it's good right now because I think I set it to 1. Swords owned 1. And then if I go to swords, I think I automatically put it to 1. So in the sword info, buy current sword, I set it to 1. Alright, so the price I'll set to 0. So the value, I'll set it to 0. And that should be good. And I think that should be it for part 1. Yeah, in part 2, I think I'll be doing data store, and then where you put it, it goes in your inventory. And let me just see if it works where you step on the pad and it opens your GUI. Alright, so you can close it. And then if we go over here, hopefully it opens. Alright, so it opens. You can click on all of these different swords and they cost different money. Click buy, output, it works. Okay, so notification. Alright, so in the leader stats, I need to make it just one quick thing before we stop this. So I can do script.parent.mouse button. Alright, so I don't need to print the value anymore. If player, wait for child, I can do game, replicated storage. No, that's for next video, sorry. Yeah, that's for next video. So if you liked today's video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, remember, I'm doing a giveaway, so by the end of this month, if we get to 170 subscribers, I will be giving away 75 Robux to a lucky winner. And if we win, or if we get to 175 subscribers by the end of the month, I'll be giving away 100 Robux. And if we get to 180, I'll be giving away 200 Robux to a lucky winner. And I also have a Discord server. I'll link it in the description. You can ask me help in there and just chat with me. But that's going to be it for today's video. And stay tuned for the next one where we'll be doing data stores. And we're going to be putting the sword into the player's inventory when they click it. And let me just save us to Roblox. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.